We're back from SHOT Show 2023 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Had a great time, met a lot of really cool people, a lot of folks on the content side, a lot of new companies, a lot of folks who work on the engineering side of things. Learned a lot from a lot of these companies and kind of saw a lot of the prototypes they're building and what's kind of new for the industry. That being said, there wasn't a whole lot of real excitement, I think, at this show for a lot of new innovative technologies, but that doesn't mean I don't have my top 5 picked out with a number 1 that I think definitely seems fitting. I think it for a number of reasons. So I had a great time at SHOT Show, stayed Monday, which was industry day at the range, windy, rainy, but I got to shoot a lot of really cool things. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I was on the floor just running around, did a bunch of videos. If you haven't checked it out on the channel already, also make sure you subscribe and like all of the videos. That way, kind of get the algorithm moving a little bit on the channel. Really helped me out. So without further ado, let's talk about a few honorable mentions that I really wanted to put on the list. I probably could have done a top 10, but I had just about 3 that were kind of honorable mentions. So number 1, Smith & Wesson came out with a 5.7. Now Smith & Wesson, of course, has been kind of innovating a little bit in the last few years, pushing out different types of products. They're kind of testing the waters, I think, and 5.7 is a really cool round. A lot of people really like it. This is a 22 round capacity 5.7 handgun, threaded barrel, and has something called a tempo barrel locking system. And that's kind of interesting. It's a little bit different. But the cool part about it is, yes, it's just another 5.7. And yes, it has a threaded barrel, 22 round capacity, the usual stuff, but it's gonna make it so the round itself, 5.7, hopefully drops in price, because that is not a cheap round. Another honorable mention is the Beretta 80X Cheetah. Now the Cheetah is an old handgun design. This new 80X version kind of brings it into a little bit more modern capabilities for handguns, a great little carry gun potentially, and it kind of follows the line of that 92FS kind of feel, right? So it has a 13 round magazine in 380, nice, compact, fun size. It's kind of like one of those compact 92FS for 9mm. I don't know why they chose 380 to kind of continue that line. It would have been probably kind of cool to see a 80X 9mm coming out, but maybe we'll see that down the road in a kind of a new design, but kind of cool. A couple of different colors in there. I think there's a bronze and a black, and of course the Beretta booth was packed. Another one that I think a lot of you might have thought would be number 1, Hollowsun DRS. Now this is a red dot that also has IR, night vision, and thermal capabilities. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it was a prototype that actually talked to the engineers, and the ones that they had on the floor and at range that you did get to shoot it, which is kind of cool, is the fact that these are prototypes that were just thrown at this team to take to SHOT Show like the week before. So I saw lens caps breaking, I saw a few of them not working anymore. So you can expect this to be about a year out until you see these. I think the thermal has some really cool capabilities to it, and it makes it so you have something that's like under $2,000 or around that range. We'll see what the price kind of comes into. That allows you to put it on a rifle and use it as a red dot or thermal or night vision, and it really, I think, kind of reaches a broader audience. So I'm actually kind of excited about it, but not as excited about my top 5, which are these right here. So my number 5 pick, Taurus. So Taurus actually came out with a new Toro line of revolvers. Toro is their optics ready line of handguns. Now revolvers, traditionally, sometimes we'll see some red dots on there, some custom options. It's been around for a little bit. Taurus is trying to bring it mainstream. So a lot of their revolvers now are gonna have the option to come with an optics cut. And the optics kind of sits on the top there, so you're definitely not gonna co-witness or anything like that with iron sights. But it's kind of neat to see them bringing that to the market, slap a red dot on there, and we'll see when these start shipping. I'm gonna try to maybe hopefully get one in. Also, they have a Taurus compact TX22 that is also optics ready. So the TX22 is a famous 22 now with a larger capacity than most 22s. I think it's like 15 rounds or something. So it ends up being a great little handgun, and I think it's going to be really cool in a compact size as well. Number 4 on my list is actually from Bond Arms. The guys who are known for Derringers stopped by their booth and actually have a new lever gun coming out, which is kind of unique. So lever gun's real hot right now. Lots of videos out there. Henry, of course, has a bunch of cool lever guns. You know, Rossi's trying to pump out more and more to kind of fill the demand because Henry's way back ordered right now. I've been trying to get one myself. And so Bond Arms came out with this new lever action now. They have a couple of models. They have a sporter and a tactical version. And what the cool part about these is that they take different, I think, Remington stocks, and they take AR uppers, barrels, handguards. I mean, that's pretty cool, and the lower is the unique part, right? So the lowers are going to be eventually sold separately is what I'm hearing from the engineers there. But as right now, it's gonna be a total gun about $1,500, but it takes AR mags, which pretty sick. And eventually it's gonna be multiple calibers, not just 5.56. So it's interesting to kind of see where that line goes. And also Bond arms going from a handgun to this type of rifle. We'll see how quickly they get this out. Number 3 on my list, Magpul launched this right before SHOT Show. All right, so Magpul came out with the DACA grid organizers for Pelican cases, as well as their new DACA line of cases. Now what's neat about this is it is essentially adult Legos, all right? So traditionally you have foam, you can rip it out, you can cut it, whatever you do to custom fit whatever you're trying to put in a case. But with these, you can buy the standard kit, which comes with a bunch of blocks and also the base foam and also the grid organizers that go in any case, because not only the Pelicans will fit, but also you can go and cut those grids down. So you can go and just get whatever case you have, get this kit, and make it fit, which is pretty cool. And then put the Lego pieces in the slots essentially for the grid organizer, and you can lock whatever you're putting in there in place. So I'm probably gonna get some in just because I think it's a neat concept. Maybe you can even line up a bunch of handguns and lock them in this case and have something where you can make it modular. You don't have to buy a bunch of different cases. More importantly, foam is usually like 80 bucks, 100 bucks, depending on what you're doing with it. So if you get real good quality foam to replace an old case that you wanna like switch a hunting rifle out, put an AR in there, whatever it is, these Magpul DACAs might not be that far from the price, because it's about $130 to $150 for the base kit, and then like 20 bucks for the bag of all the pieces and when you want to actually get extra pieces. Number 2 on my list, PSA, all right? There's a bunch of cool stuff at PSA. I did multiple videos on PSA stuff. I was really impressed with their STG-44, and not for the reason you're thinking. So the STG-44 is actually from an older company, older project that they're carrying over to the PSA brand. They're gonna start pumping these things out this year. They already have working models. They went to the range. The one at SHOT Show is a working model as well, and it's gonna come in multiple calibers, including the 8mm Kurtz round that was the original round, so you can get kind of a more of a purist look as well. And what's cool about that is it's the Battlefield series, all right? So what I'm seeing and I've heard from the owners of PSA, actually, who are big into World War II, all the memorabilia, the history behind it, all that stuff, World War II, Lugers, maybe 1911s, maybe Car 98s, MP40s, they're gonna bring a whole line in this Battlefield series, and I'm fascinated to see in the next 5 years or so probably what comes out of that line. And I know they're opening a museum with a bunch of historical stuff from World War II in Myrtle Beach later this year. So PSA, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on. I'm probably gonna go down there and do a tour of their factory. Hopefully I can kind of see the line of STG-44s and how they're being constructed. That'd be pretty sweet. And my number 1 pick might be kind of a shocker, because there are some really cool ones of this particular type of firearm. 2011s, I don't even have any. I've shot a bunch of them. You know, Staccato is the main one you've heard of before. Oracle Arms has a new 2311 with SIG P320 mags, kind of a different grip on the angle because of that. So Live Free Armory out of Florida, all right, they actually are a big operation. They sound like a smaller company. They only have a handful of different handguns, rifles, things like that. They're coming out with like PCCs as well, and they have a full rifle line, and they have some handguns that take Glock compatible parts. But what's really, really neat about them is they're coming out with a 2011, and what's even better about this is not only was it prototype the week before SHOT, and it's coming out this summer, but they have the manufacturing capacity to bring it down to under $1,000. That's right, under $1,000. Which for 2011 is really, really affordable, essentially. Now, what's neat about it, 9mm, they haven't really decided on the mag yet. I was talking to the engineers there. They were actually running around SHOT Show trying to figure out which company would be the best source for mags, because 2011 mags are pretty expensive. I did a full interview with the guys over there if you want to watch it on the channel a couple of days ago. But it's kind of neat, affordable. Gets maybe some more folks with their hands on a 2011 because it is a very flat shooting type of handgun. Of course, there's no working model of this 2011 that they have. It's kind of a prototype, trigger works, slide works. They're still kind of working on the magazine. So I'm expecting to kind of see that coming out the next 6 months or so. So Live Free Armory, definitely keep an eye on them. And that is it. As always, guys, make sure you ask any questions you have down below. I'll be happy to answer them. I'll walk around all the booths, FN, You know, all those guys had the coolest stuff. The P90s, the Scar Mini, Ruger, I mean, Smith & Wesson, Glock. It was a really good time. It was kind of neat to meet all those guys. It's been a couple of years since I've been. It's only my second SHOT Show. So again, if you have any questions or comments about anything you've heard or seen in the video today, hit them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. As always, subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up, really helps me out. Head over to Instagram, follow me there, like us on Facebook for all the latest and greatest deals on the internet. And we'll see you guys in the next review.